OpenAI just made Codex weird in exactly the way that spreads. The announcement is tiny. Pets. Now in Codex. Use /pet to wake your pet. Then OpenAI developers followed it with another clip. Customize your Codex pet with /hatch. On the surface, this looks like a toy. A tiny mascot sitting inside a coding agent. But the interesting part is not the mascot. It is what the mascot says about where coding agents are going. The serious tools are starting to act less like terminals and more like workspaces people live inside all day. So this video is not pretending that a pet writes better code. It does not. The point is simpler. Codex is becoming a place, not just a prompt box. And once an agent becomes a place, personality, rituals, memory, skills, projects, and little bits of fun become part of the product moat. Here is what the source actually shows. The first OpenAI developers post says, Pets. Now in Codex. Use /pet to wake your pet. The video opens with a small blue Codex-style mascot on a dark background. Then it cuts to the Codex desktop interface. The prompt says, what should we work on? The composer says, ask Codex anything, to use plugins or mention files. A menu opens inside Codex. One row is labeled pet, with the description, wake or tuck away the desktop pet. That is the whole feature claim from the first post. Not agent benchmarks. Not code generation. A desktop pet that can be woken or tucked away from the command menu. The second post adds the customization angle. It says customize your Codex pet with /hatch. The demo shows a hatch pet context, the user types /hatch, and then asks for a cute goblin pet. A little pixel goblin appears on the dark canvas. Tiny feature. Very clear proof. Now put that toy feature next to the official Codex docs. OpenAI describes Codex as its coding agent for software development. The docs say it can write code, understand unfamiliar code bases, review code, debug problems, and automate development tasks. The Codex app docs frame it as a focused desktop experience for working on Codex threads in parallel. That matters here because pets only make sense in a persistent workspace. You do not add a desktop pet to a one-shot API call. You add it to an app where the user comes back, keeps threads open, switches projects, reviews diffs, and runs actions. The same docs mention work trees, automations, Git functionality, terminal actions, in-app browser flows, plugins, skills, and sidebar artifacts. So the pet is not the core capability. It is a small personality layer on top of a much larger agent workspace. The honest reaction is, why should anyone care? Because coding agents are entering a retention fight. At first, the contest was model quality. Which agent can write the patch? Which one can run tests? Which one can debug the failure without wandering off? That still matters. But once multiple agents are good enough, the product layer starts to matter more. Which one feels faster? Which one keeps your projects organized? Which one makes long-running work understandable? Which one gives you confidence before you hit commit? A pet is a silly feature, but it lives in that product layer. It makes Codex feel less like a blank form and more like a companion workspace. That is why the demo is interesting. It is OpenAI saying, even developer tools can have a little character, as long as the serious workflow is still there underneath. The /hatch clip is the more revealing one. The visible UI shows a hatch pet entry described as Codex-compatible animated pet sprite sheets. In another frame, the /command menu shows normal commands like pet, plan mode, personality, MCP, and compact. Below that, it shows a skills section with entries like payments, presentations, plugin creator, publish changes, and hatch pet. That is the useful part. The pet demo is also a demo of Codex as a customizable environment. You can see model and reasoning controls in the composer. You can see a project selector. You can see plugin and skill language. The pet is basically the cute wrapper around a deeper idea. Users are going to bring workflows, commands, and small personalized tools into their coding agent. So the real headline is not just pets. It is that Codex is building toward a programmable, personal coding surface. There is one caveat. At the time of this video, I could verify the X posts, the demo clips, the Codex app docs, the CLI docs, the model docs, and the public OpenAI/Codex GitHub repo. I could not find public documentation for /pet or /hatch in the Codex repo at the current commit I checked. So do not overstate this. The official source proves the announcement and shows the feature in the app. It does not prove every account already has the same pet menu, the same hatch pet skill, or the same custom sprite workflow. If you have access to the latest CODEX app, the practical thing to try is simple. Open CODEX, start a thread, type /pet, and see if the pet command appears. Then try /hatch if your environment includes the hatch pet skill shown in the demo. If it is not there yet, treat this as a rollout signal, not a universal how-to. My take is blunt. Pets will not make CODEX a better coding model, but they might make CODEX a stickier coding app. That distinction is the story. The best agent experience will not be only about raw intelligence. It will be about a workspace where projects, skills, approvals, memory, browser work, terminal work, and generated artifacts all feel coherent. OpenAI is still fighting the serious fight with models like GPT 5.5 and CODEX. The docs position it for complex coding, computer use, knowledge work, and research workflows. The pet feature is the opposite end of the stack. It is emotion, identity, and habit. That combination is where developer tools are headed. Serious automation underneath, a little personality on top, and a lot more reasons to keep the agent open all day. Tiny mascot. Bigger signal.